Betting on yourself is one of the most profound acts of courage and self-trust a person can commit to. It is not simply a motivational slogan or a catchy phrase. It is a deep, unwavering declaration to the world, and, more importantly, to yourself, that you believe in your own worth, vision, and capability. It is about choosing to invest in your own journey, talents, and purpose, even when external validation is absent, and even when the path ahead is filled with uncertainty. The act of betting on yourself begins internally, long before any achievement becomes visible. It starts in the mind and the heart, with a quiet, persistent voice that whispers, "I can." That voice may not always roar, but its presence is consistent. It may be the only voice left when others fade into silence or transform into criticism. When no one else sees your potential, you must become your own advocate. The world has a way of projecting limitations through environments, circumstances, and sometimes the opinions of people who haven't dared to dream themselves. But betting on yourself means resisting those limitations and rewriting the narrative that others may try to impose. There is power in deciding that you are enough as you are, while also striving to become more. This kind of self-belief is not rooted in arrogance but in self-awareness. It's knowing your strengths and your weaknesses and still choosing to move forward. It's refusing to let past failures or current fears disqualify you from future victories. Many people wait for the perfect moment, the right amount of resources, or the approval of others before they take a step. But betting on yourself requires you to take action now, even when the conditions are not ideal. One of the greatest challenges to self-belief is the inner critic, the voice that questions your worthiness, your preparation, your ability to succeed. That voice often comes from past disappointments or external criticisms that have taken root in your mind. To bet on yourself is to face that voice and challenge it with truth. It means reminding yourself of what you've already overcome, what you've already learned, and how far you've already come. Every small win, every moment of resilience, every hard lesson becomes evidence in your favor. When you bet on yourself, you also accept full responsibility for your journey. You stop blaming others for your setbacks. You stop waiting for a savior. You stop shrinking your vision to fit into someone else's comfort zone. Responsibility can be heavy, but it is also liberating. It puts the pen in your hand, allowing you to write the next chapter of your story with intention and clarity. You realize that your life is not determined by the opinions of others or the limitations of your circumstances, but by the choices you make daily. This mindset shift impacts every area of life. It changes how you approach your career, your relationships, your goals, and even how you handle failure. Failure is no longer seen as a final verdict but as feedback, something to learn from and grow through. When you truly bet on yourself, you understand that setbacks are not signs to quit but signals to adjust. You develop resilience, the kind that can't be faked or borrowed. It's built in the quiet moments when you keep going despite fear or fatigue. Another important aspect of betting on yourself is the courage to walk alone. Not everyone will understand your vision. Not everyone will applaud your ambition. There may be seasons when the applause is silent and the support is minimal, but during those times your belief in yourself must become louder than the doubts surrounding you. Loneliness is sometimes the price of authenticity and growth, but it is better to walk alone in purpose than to stay comfortable in a crowd that doesn't understand your mission. When you bet on yourself, you stop asking for permission to be great. You no longer need someone else to co-sign your vision. You stop looking outward for confirmation and start looking inward for conviction. That internal compass will guide you when the path is unclear. It will sustain you when progress is slow. It will remind you why you started and why you must keep going. This mindset doesn't just benefit you, it inspires others. When people see someone who is fully committed to their own growth and purpose, it creates a ripple effect. It gives others permission to believe in themselves too. Your courage becomes contagious. Your persistence becomes a blueprint. By betting on yourself, you not only change your life, you become a catalyst for change in others. It is also important to recognize that betting on yourself does not mean you have all the answers. It means you are willing to seek them. It doesn't mean you never feel fear, it means you move forward in spite of it. It doesn't mean you always win, it means you never stop showing up. Confidence is built in the repetition of that choice, to show up, to believe, to act, even when results are not immediate. Betting on yourself is a daily decision. It is waking up and choosing to keep going when quitting seems easier. It's choosing to speak up when staying silent would be more comfortable. It's choosing to try again after a door closes. It's choosing to stretch beyond what's familiar, knowing that growth and comfort rarely coexist. Each time you choose yourself, your identity strengthens. You begin to see yourself not just as someone who dreams, but as someone who executes, who endures, and who overcomes. It's not just about achieving success in the conventional sense. It's about becoming someone who lives fully, authentically, and fearlessly. When you bet on yourself, you're not gambling. You're investing. You are placing value on your purpose, your passion, and your potential. That investment may not yield immediate returns, but over time, it becomes the foundation of a life built not on chance but on choice. Believing in yourself is not just a positive affirmation. It is a necessary and powerful decision that can shape the entire trajectory of your life. When you decide to bet on yourself, you are making a declaration that your worth, your dreams, and your abilities are worth the risk, the effort, and the sacrifice. You stop waiting for someone else to tell you that you're ready, worthy, or good enough. Instead, you become your own source of validation and fuel your own momentum. It's a mindset shift that changes everything. When you bet on yourself, you acknowledge that you are the most valuable investment you can make. Think about that for a moment. We often place our time, energy, and trust into things and people that are external to us: jobs, relationships, opinions, trends. But how often do we truly invest in ourselves with the same intensity and consistency? Making yourself the focus of that investment means prioritizing your growth, your peace, your development, and your purpose above all else. This decision isn't born from arrogance. It comes from understanding that your life is your responsibility. No one else can do the work for you. No one else can fulfill your purpose or live your vision. People can support you, encourage you, and walk with you, but they cannot walk for you. The moment you internalize that, you reclaim your power. You realize that if you fail, you can still rise, and if you succeed, it's because you took the chance and bet on your own potential. It requires courage to bet on yourself because it means you might fail, and failure is uncomfortable. It exposes your weaknesses, it humbles your pride, and it confronts your fears. But here's the truth: failure is not final. Every successful person has failed, multiple times. The difference is, they kept showing up. They kept trusting that the seeds they were planting would grow in due time. Betting on yourself means understanding that the process might be painful, but the payoff is always worth it. When you choose to invest in yourself, you commit to doing what is necessary for growth even when it's difficult. You read the books. You wake up early. You cut off distractions. You stay disciplined. You embrace solitude when necessary and stay focused when no one else understands your vision. That level of commitment might feel isolating at times, but it's proof that you are serious about your transformation. And transformation never happens without discomfort. Growth demands it. This kind of self-belief fuels action. It doesn't just sit in a journal or exist as a mantra. It shows up in how you live every day. It's the reason you keep applying. After rejections, the reason you speak up in rooms where you once felt small, the reason you take the leap when the outcome isn't guaranteed. You learn to become your own biggest supporter, not waiting for the world to recognize your value before you do. Because once you believe it, the world eventually has to respond. There's something magnetic about a person who believes in themselves. Not in an ego-driven way, but with quiet confidence that says, "I've done the work, I'm doing the work, and I will keep doing the work." That belief begins to attract opportunities, people, and resources that match that energy. But even if they don't come right away, your consistency will create what doesn't yet exist. That's the power of betting on yourself. You create what others don't see yet. This journey also requires trust. Trust in the process. Trust that your timing is not too late or too early, but exactly right for your story. It means understanding that your path may not look like anyone else's, and that's okay. When you bet on yourself, you don't need to copy someone else's blueprint, because you are building your own. That trust allows you to stay grounded when things get shaky, to remain rooted when everything around you is shifting. Another key part of betting on yourself is being willing to evolve. You must constantly reflect, reassess, and refine who you are becoming. Investing in yourself isn't a one-time decision, it's a lifestyle. It means checking in with your habits, your thoughts, your circle, and your standards. If something is no longer serving your growth, you let it go. If something is challenging you to become better, you lean into it, because your life is too important to live it passively. There will be moments where doubt creeps in, when you question whether you're good enough, smart enough, talented enough. That's normal. But self-belief isn't about never doubting. It's about choosing to keep going even when you do. It's about having enough resilience to silence the voice that says, you can't, and amplify the one that whispers, you must. That inner dialogue matters. The words you speak to yourself matter. When you bet on yourself, you learn to speak life even in the face of uncertainty. The truth is, no one will ever care about your dreams the way you do, and they shouldn't. It's your vision, not theirs. So don't wait for applause before you act. Don't wait for consensus before you move. Start building, start writing, start creating, even if it's messy, even if it's imperfect, even if it scares you, especially if it scares you. Because fear often points toward the areas where you are meant to grow. And growth is the evidence of belief. If you truly believe in yourself, your life will show it. Your work ethic will show it. Your attitude will show it. Your relationships will reflect it. Your goals will stretch because you know you're capable of more. Betting on yourself demands that you operate with integrity, with intention, and with a deep sense of purpose. It's not just about winning, it's about becoming. It's about showing up every day with the mindset that who you are becoming is worth the fight, the discipline, and the perseverance. So when challenges come, and they will, you don't fold, you don't shrink. You remember that you are the investment, and that investment will pay off, not just in material gain, but in the unshakable confidence that you didn't quit on yourself. You didn't play it safe. You chose growth. You chose courage. You chose to believe. That belief is the foundation of everything else. And once you have it, nothing can stop you. Betting on yourself is one of the most courageous and powerful decisions you can make in your life. It's a declaration that you believe in your own worth, your abilities, and your vision, even when no one else does. This kind of belief isn't born from external validation or the applause of others. It comes from within, forged in silence, developed through struggle, and confirmed by your decision to keep moving forward when everything in your environment tells you to quit. Believing in yourself starts with understanding that you have something of value. It doesn't require perfection. It doesn't need the world's approval. It needs your attention, your respect, and your commitment. When you bet on yourself, you're not saying you have all the answers. You're saying that you are willing to find them. You're saying that the outcome is worth the risk. You're saying that the vision you hold inside is more important than the fear you carry with you. Too many people wait for someone else to see their potential. They wait for the mentor, the opportunity, the sponsor, the recognition, something outside of themselves to validate the voice inside. But if you wait for someone else to bet on you, you might be waiting forever. The truth is, most people only invest in what's already growing. Most people won't see your potential until you've proven it. So what do you do in the meantime? You show up. You do the work. You build your confidence through action. You place the bet on yourself and you get in the game. There will be doubt. There will be fear. There will be moments when you feel like you're not enough. But betting on yourself doesn't mean you never feel those things. It means you don't let them control you. It means you keep moving even when you're afraid. It means you take the next step, not because it's safe, but because it's aligned with the future you're trying to create. It's easy to believe in yourself when everything is working. It's easy to be confident when the wins are piling up. But what about when things fall apart? What about when no one returns your calls, when your ideas are rejected, when your plans fail? That's when the real decision is made. That's when the bet becomes real. Because in those moments you have two choices: retreat to comfort or press forward into growth. And growth always demands risk. It demands discomfort. It demands that you step into the unknown and trust yourself to figure it out along the way. Every great achievement starts with someone who chose to believe, not just in the goal, but in their ability to reach it. And that belief didn't come from some magical moment. It came from making that choice over and over, through the grind, through the setbacks, through the silence. Confidence is not a gift, it's a result. It's the outcome of honoring your word to yourself. When you say you're going to do something, and then you do it, you build trust in yourself. And that trust is the foundation of belief. People will doubt you. That's guaranteed. Some will question your intentions, others will dismiss your capabilities. But that's not your concern. Their doubt only has power if it echoes something you already believe about yourself. So the real work is internal. It's dismantling the lies you've been told, the limitations you've accepted, and the false narratives you've internalized. When you unlearn those stories, you make room for new ones. You make space for a story that says you are capable, that you are worthy, that you are enough. Betting on yourself is also about accountability. It's about owning your results, the good, the bad, and everything in between. It's not about blaming circumstances or waiting for perfect timing. It's about recognizing that you have agency. You may not control everything that happens to you, but you control your response, you control your mindset, you control your effort. And when you operate from that place, you stop playing small. You stop settling for mediocrity. You stop waiting for permission. It's not arrogance to believe in yourself. It's responsibility. Because when you know you've been given something, talent, vision, a calling, it's on you to develop it. No one is coming to rescue you. No one is going to hand you the life you imagine. That's your job. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you'll start moving differently. You'll start acting like the person you want to become. You'll start showing up with more intention, more clarity, more fire. The world doesn't need more people waiting to be picked. It needs more people who pick themselves, who say, I may not be where I want to be yet, but I'm on the path, I'm taking the steps, I'm putting in the reps. That's how momentum is built. That's how confidence grows. That's how you change your reality. One decision, one action, one belief at a time. The road won't be easy. There will be failures. There will be moments when you question everything. But that's not a sign to stop. It's a sign you're on the edge of growth. And every time you push past that resistance, every time you keep going when quitting feels easier, you prove to yourself that you're worth the bet. So ask yourself, what would your life look like if you fully committed to believing in your own potential? What would you do if you stopped asking for permission and started trusting your instincts? What could you create if you showed up every day like your future depended on it? Because it does. When you bet on yourself, you don't just change your life. You inspire others to do the same. You become living proof that it's possible to rise from uncertainty, from fear, from limitation,